Hey guys, how are you? Welcome. Hey Nautical Menace. Hey Giab. Giab's the chain. Mario, AJ Swiftblitz, Pink Daniel. Thank you guys for coming. Thanks for following me, Apollo's Art Child. Ada Ada. And ada to all the new subscribers and followers. Thank you, Arflus, for subscribing. Ada. I just added a bunch of like special emotes and flair and like icons for you guys for the different tiers. So the longer you subscribe, the more you can like evolve into a T-Rex. So you start as a little egg and then you evolve into a cool T-Rex. And yeah, you can get different flair like based on what tier you subscribe at. Thank you, Cody. Dr. Chaos, I'm doing pretty well. How are you guys? Yeah, my day's pretty good. A little busy, but in a good way. Having fun 'cause I love my job. You have a Myosaurus skull. How'd you get that? Hey, After Dark Raven. Hey, AlbiQ Monkey. Thank you, Brosaurus Rex, for following me, and Hawk Feeder. I love hawks. I have not found any Neanderthal remains on my digs. I have found human remains, but not Neanderthal. And hi everyone on TikTok. If you haven't already, come over to my Twitch. I'm Reisuka with an underscore at the end over here, and we're playing DinoBlade today. So today, I was thinking I could play DinoBlade. It's not quite out. This is like a demo, but it looks like a really cool game because you basically are a Spinosaurus and like have a huge sword. So I thought that would be fun to play with you guys. And then if that is a little too short, we can always do like dinosaur Q&A because I know you guys probably have a lot of dino questions you would like to ask. Hey Nick Bruce. Thank you, Nautical Menace. By the way, thank you, Happy, Nonstick Nick, and Fabrizio Vasquez for subscribing. Ada. And thank you, Lizard Man, for following. Ada. Simic, hey. Hey guys. Rhea Saya, thank you for following me. Ada. So, you bought it from Etsy. It's a cast. That's awesome. If I got a dinosaur tattoo, I'm not sure what I would get. I think probably some kind of theropod, like Velociraptor skeleton or something, but I'm not sure. Hey, Mac. But yeah, so let's see. I'm not even sure if I can use my controller with this game. Oh, let me make sure I can see the chat. How much would it cost to keep a Utahraptor as a pet? I mean, you're going to be feeding it a lot of meat, so... And you need a lot of land. So yeah, looks like this is... Maybe it's not a Spinosaurus, but it... Oh yeah, it is! We have a Spinosaurus! Okay. So, let me see how this is gonna work. Okay. Can I sprint? And now I'm a Spinosaurus with a sword. Okay, yeah, I'm playing on mouse and keyboard, so... Oh, that's pretty cool. So I can like lock on and then destroy. That's pretty easy. You have a Quetzalcoatlus skull. That's cool. Okay. Can I pick this up? No. How do you keep the Utahraptor from attacking postal workers? Yeah, I'm not sure that you can, honestly. Dinosaur pet discussion. What dinosaur would you guys want as a pet? Ooh, I have to press control shit. There we go, okay. It came from there. Okay. But can I be a dinosaur with a gun? I don't know. Maybe in the full game that'd be cool. I just need like a Revy dinosaur with 2 guns. Hey, little Cabe. Yes, this is a demo for DinoBlade. Oh, thank you, Plushing in. Thank you for following me on Twitch. Ada. This magical. Okay. Squirrel with a gun. That does sound funny. Okay, here we have, now we finally have sprinting. I love sprinting in games. Hey, T-Rexy. You'd want Raptor, Triceratops. The harmless ones, yeah, that's pretty smart. Have the harmless dinosaur as a pet. So yeah, if you guys are on TikTok, I will still read the chat there as much as I can, but definitely come over to Twitch because we have some really fun gameplay today with DinoBlade. I'm Reisuga with the underscore at the end over here. You just rewatched Jurassic Park. That's so fun. Okay. I was wondering if I could get a power-up, but I'm not sure. Maybe in the real game I can get a power-up. I'm doing well, T-Rexy. Thank you for asking. I hope you're doing well. Oh, thank you, After Dark Raven, for subscribing on Twitch, and Starlit Lake for following me. Ada. To both of you. I like how, like, these other dinosaurs have, like, random weapons, like a trident, like, looks like raptors, like, tridents or something. They're, like, Poseidon raptors. Okay. So that's his most powerful attack. Yeah, this Spino's pretty awesome. Okay, hold C to channel your power. Okay. I got it. It's a little confusing, but I think I'll be fine. Okay, who's this guy? But you can heal yourself too, I guess. I mean, to me, I'm liking the control attack a little better. Oh, did I just... I think I just died. Okay. So maybe I'm not using this right. Oh, I see. So I can throw powers. A good blade against dinosaurs? I mean, I think it depends what dinosaur. Like, I think a long blade like this, because you probably don't want to get close to them, and then you probably want to, like, hit their neck or their thigh, hit a major artery. Sora Poseidon, yes, is a dinosaur. These are babies, I feel bad. Okay, the mana thing, it kind of takes a while. I'm not sure how powerful it is. Okay, let's try it on this dude. Okay. So it seems like it's good for far away attacks. Hey, Reza Sutra, thank you for coming. Yes, mana attack. Thanks for coming, Apollo. Yeah, I got DinoBlade. It's only the demo though, so I don't know when the real game is coming out. Okay, I'm not going near him again till I send some mana over there. So he killed me last time. Did I just win? Oh, I don't know. It looks bad. Okay. I think I won. Level up. I think I won. It's like, why is my health... Oh, okay. There's another one. He's too far. I was wondering, like, why can't I go back? I guess they don't want me to go back. These are just babies. Hey, Alisana. Chainsaw Commando, what about Compound Fracture? Compound Fracture, is that like a Dino game? Okay. It's very dark. It's a little hard to see sometimes on this game. Like, how am I supposed to go through here? You're Dino Stuffy. I love Dino Stuffies. Yeah, I can't share the gameplay on TikTok because it's too much for my computer, but if you guys are on TikTok, come over to Twitch and you can see it. I'll still try to, like, respond to your chats. But, okay, good, I can save. But, yeah. I might be able to get, like, another computer so I can put gameplay on TikTok eventually, but right now I have one desktop, okay? So you need to come over to Twitch. Okay, now where? Oh, I missed this. Okay. I just like to explore. The boss is up the hill. Okay, I need to prepare. Hold on 1 second, guys. You got a big plush T-Rex for your nephew? I bet he loved that. I remember my first Dino plushie was like a It was like this big, and it was like a red, it was super simple. It was like a red, like long neck dinosaur. I wish I still had it. And it just had like black little beady eyes. It was like so cute, like in the cutest way. Like, I wish I could find something like it. Yeah, maybe I can adjust brightness in the future, but also it's a demo, so it didn't really give me like a lot of options. Hey Celia, how are you? Holy shit. This is a Carnotaurus? This is Spinosaurus versus Carnotaurus right now. This is like not a good matchup. But, you know, I'll do my best. Holy shit. Oh my god, I gotta use my big attack. I'm just like spamming right now. Like, I don't really know what I'm doing. God. Holy shit. Oh my fucking god, dude. Come on. I'm so close to beating him, though. Is he dead? Like... I know. I don't know. He keeps getting up. Okay, I beat him! I beat him! You should be proud of me, Sonic. I beat him on the first try. Hey, Dr. Meow. Yeah, Spinosaurus versus Carnotaurus. Spinosaurus won, guys. Bet you didn't see that coming. Oh, by the way, shout out Mezzaline, Stu, Clockwork Griffin, Deadly Kitten, Starlit Lake. Thank you, Ada Ada. And thank you, After Dark Raven, for subscribing, Ada Ada, to Twitch. I don't know if I shouted you out already, so just in case. Okay. What skill should I get? I have no idea what any of these do. Oh, here we go. A beautiful, fierce, and fatal dance of steel. I like that. Dash forward and release a powerful long-range strike. Release a loud and monstrous roar to freeze all your enemies. That's like... I mean, that could be cool. That could be cool. I kind of want to do the dance, though. Press 1. Okay. How do I, like, go away from here? Oh, I see. I tend to spend more on, like, health and damage and this type of stuff. Okay. Oh my god, how was I supposed to do that? Oh, pressing 1. Or maybe it was control. Oh, here we go. Let's see if I can make it a little lighter. Okay, so I just literally have to, like, press 1. I think I can't really make it lighter right now, but... Okay, but when I press 1, nothing happens. Oh, like 1 while I click. Okay, okay, okay. It's kind of the same as the control skill. Yeah, this game is, it is really fun so far. It's like pretty simple, but like fun. Like you just get right into it. I love games like that. I don't really, I kind of like like learning the controls as I go and like keeping it kind of simple at first so I can just jump into it, because I feel like I learn more by like just doing stuff. I don't know if you guys are like that. Okay, we're on the bridge. Spino. I love that I'm being a Spinosaurus. Ah, my god. Okay, I made it. I think this gives me like health, but it's a little unclear. Okay, that was my special skill, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, I wonder if you can like be other dinosaurs, like raptors or like T-Rex or whatever. Like, can you be a sauropod? Can you be a titanosaur with like weapons coming out somehow? But no, I love the Spinosaurus. Okay, this is like a lot. Okay, that's like really fast and a lot. They look kind of like Allosaurus, but they're a little too like thick. Let's go down the waterfall. Ooh, I see another one. Oh my god. Like Gollum living in here. Okay. Trying to see what kind of... Yeah, to me it looks like an Allosaurus, like... Maybe an I feel like it's too small for Acrocanthosaurus. I feel like it has to be Allosaurus. He's a big boy. It's like, he has a sledgehammer. He's like a... Okay, maybe he is bigger. Maybe he was like a Acrocanthosaurus or something. Looking at the moon, just thinking about life as a Spinosaurus. If you guys want to see the game, come over to Twitch, because that's where my gameplay is. It's Reisuka with an underscore at the end. But I am like still responding as much as I can to your chats. Yeah, it could be Giganotosaurus. I think Giganotosaurus should be like a little bigger. I mean, well, I guess, okay. I guess if we're going by like Spinosaurus aegypticus, then yeah. It could have been like a Giganotosaurus. A T-Rex was small. Yeah, I don't think T-Rex had wings. Like usually to have wings, you have to have fused, a fused wrist and fused fingers, so it's not likely that T-Rex had wings. I mean, we don't think that most dinosaurs had wings. It's really only the ones that are super close to birds. But there would be more signs on its skeleton for that, and there would also be, if T-Rex like had big wings, then it would definitely have like impressions along its arm from the feathers. Holy shit. Okay, this is the T-Rex though. It's like bigger than me. Not accurate, but it's fair. The Bears officers are like, get the fuck out. Get the fuck away. Okay. Well, you know, I'm also playing all this with long nails, by the way, so better respect Dino Mommy. I'm doing this keyboard with long ass nails. Okay, where'd he go? Okay, I don't know why it did not lock on. This poor, like, it looks like a Myosaurus. And it's babies, oh my god. I need to get their health. Feed, Mr. Spino, feed. He's like, Spinosaurus is like Gollum, he's like, fresh, raw fish, Smeagol-like. It could have been Giga, but now that I see the T-Rex, like, I mean, it's so big. The T-Rex is so big, so Giganotosaurus should be a little bigger, but maybe it was a juvenile. I think we're not gonna get to the T-Rex yet. We're gonna have like a build up, I guess. Yeah, I like my blade dance moves. Pretty dope. It kind of, like, the controls and how it feels kind of reminds me of Monster Hunter, but, like, a little easier for me, like, a little more intuitive. Because it's kind of like Monster Hunter, but you don't have, like, as much going on with, like, oh no, I have to sharpen my blade, and I have to heal, and I have to do all this, you know? So it's kind of like, but very similar gameplay. Thank you, Mindless Billy and Luchiosaurus and Casimir the Wise for following me on Twitch. Ada ada. Hope you enjoyed DinoBlade. Have I played Deathground? No. How do I find time for research? I mean, I find time, you just have to make time for it. Like, take whatever couple hours you have per day and do the research. I've, like, gathered a lot of data over the years. Like, I've been a paleontologist for over 10 years now. So I have a lot of data and I have, like, a lot of reference photos and things like that. So, a lot of what I'm trying to do right now is, I definitely love going in the field and finding new stuff, but I have a lot of old stuff that, like, I did all the data for, but I need to finish writing it up because I love exploring and going in the field and finding dinosaurs and then figuring out what they are, and then I don't really like the writing part as much, you know, but I know it's important, so right now I'm focused on the writing part. But yeah, I mean, it's like anything else. You make time for it. And now that I'm a full-time content creator, it makes finding time for it a lot easier because when I would work at like museums or universities, it's like you spend a lot of time on administrative stuff and meetings and like paperwork. So I actually have more time to do research and fieldwork as a content creator for sure. Health, 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 health. Hey, Crow and Robes. How are you? The green things, I think they're like health after you win a battle. The little blue fires. Yes, I did get DinoBlade to load if you guys on TikTok want to come over here You can see it on Twitch. Risuka with the underscore at the end. Too many exclamation points. You're too excited for DinoBlade. It's fair. I am really having fun with it. Wait. I feel like the T-Rex is gonna pop up at any second. I'm just like, when? Yeah, do you know when it's getting released? I hope we don't have to keep waiting like GTA 6. I feel like so much has happened before GTA 6, I just like kind of forget that it's coming out. Okay, I feel like I was here before. Yeah, I won against Carnotaurus, and then I saw T-Rex and it ran away from me. And now I guess I'm looking for T-Rex. I was already here. I mean, so far I like the dinosaur models. Like, I think the Spinosaurus is pretty accurate. It's basically like the Jurassic Park 3 Spinosaurus, which is accurate. The only thing that's not accurate about Jurassic Park 3 is just like Spinosaurus wouldn't have been like as good of a swimmer. But it definitely still swam and was like semi-aquatic, so I like that. I mean, the T-Rex and Giganotosaurus, whatever that thing was, like, they could use some feathers for sure, but like, I like the size of them. Like, the T-Rex looks imposing. I like that. And then the little guys are like, I mean, they're cute. I like their movement and everything. Looks nice, but like, it's a little hard to see what they are. Like, I wish they had a little more detail. Because like I can't quite tell like if they're Velociraptor or like what species the duckbills are, for example. I'm thinking I gotta go up here. Let me see. But I mean, yeah, for a game, it's really well done. That's just me being picky as a paleontologist and like giving you guys my picky paleontology opinion, but like ultimately it doesn't like actually bother me. Like, you know, I love dino themed stuff. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, well, like, it's not fun because like you didn't do the right thing on the dino. Like, no, like, okay, this is like, what the? Okay, I think I can get up here because I think this is where the T-Rex is, maybe. No, maybe not. Who would be the raccoon of the dinosaur world? Ooh, that's a good question. I would say probably the smaller dinosaurs like Velociraptor or even Oviraptor, because maybe not Velociraptor, I guess, because it's more of a carnivore, but like Oviraptor was, and dinosaurs like that were more like omnivores, so they would kind of eat anything, and because they were small, they had to be super careful of predators, and they didn't really have like the big signature claws of Velociraptor or like great weapons, you know what I mean? So like they would kind of have to skulk around and eat whatever they could like a raccoon does. Thanks for coming. Thanks, Albudo. Okay. I feel like I'm going in a circle here. Ooh, okay, no, I found it. The T-Rex Skull of Doom. This is like a giant T-Rex. Like, imagine a T-Rex like actually being so big that like Spinosaurus looks like this. Like, that's insane, but that would be like so cool. Favorite monster, Monster Hunter? I'm forgetting the name of it right now, but the one that looks like a Carnotaurus with a chicken. I like that one. Also, the spider one was cool. That one was hard, like the ballerina spider. Okay. This is not gonna be easy. Shit. Guys. The T-Rex is so OP. The T-Rex is so OP. It's just like Jurassic Park 3. Well, no, it's not, because Spino killed T-Rex. It's like how Jurassic Park 3 should have been, because T-Rex has OP bite force. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna like try to do my little mana trick. Get some hits in. Please. Oh my god. That like did not hurt him at all. Okay, so maybe I need to be better at like running away. Well, you can put your dino fixation to good use here. We talk about dinosaurs all the time. Hi, Princess. And you guys on TikTok, if you want to see gameplay of DinoBlade, come over to Twitch, okay? I'm Reisuka with an underscore at the end. Okay, I'm just gonna practice, like... This is hard with my long nails, damn it. Okay, you know, I'm making some progress. I'm probably still gonna die. Yep. But I got like a quarter. I got a quarter of the health down. Herrerasaurus. Herrerasaurus is a duck-billed dinosaur, so... I mean, similar to Parasaurolophus and Saurolophus, like... It... definitely would have been like browsing on aquatic vegetation. Okay, so let me think about this. How am I gonna... Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do is like go up and down and then just do my like skill. Yeah, Anjanath, that's what I was thinking. I was like, Anjanath is also my fave. Also, I did a bunch of videos on him. The fuck? How can I beat it? Can I sprint backwards? Not really. Okay. Oh yeah, I can. Yeah, I can. It's just hard with my nails. I'm practicing. Okay. Okay, I think I'm gonna make a little more progress this time. I'm gonna come at him from the side. Oh, no, that was a bad idea, but it's fine. I can't run away from him like fast enough. Yeah, Glavinus is so cool. I kind of like took a little hiatus from Monster Hunter, but I want to go back. I should stream it again. Yeah. Anjanath does look very Carnotaurus-y. But yeah, there's YouTube vids up on it, and there's TikToks. Oh my god, no! Don't fucking bring up my skills right now. Why are they doing that? Although, could I? It kind of looked like I could buy another skill, but I don't know how to get back to that menu. Thank you, Elder Goth, for subscribing. Ada Ada. I love your username. Thanks, Princess. I try. Okay. How can I get this? No. How can I get my skill thing back up? Okay. My strategies don't seem to be working, so I'm just gonna start spamming. I'm gonna believe in myself, guys. Oh my god. Well. Okay, maybe there's some kind of cheat. Hi Jeremy, thank you for following me. Sarah's evil clone, you love dinos too. I'm playing DinoBlade, the demo, over on Twitch right now. I'm Reisuka with the underscore at the end. If you want to see the gameplay, but I will be entering your chat too. Okay. So let me see. I need to look up if someone else has figured this out. But yeah, if I can't get past him, it's okay. We can do our Dino Q&A. I'm pretty sure like he's gonna be the end of the demo anyway. I don't even see like other people doing it. Okay. I will try one more time. My chat got mixed up. Okay. Yes, that is Godzilla behind me. The 90s Godzilla. Thanks for sharing the live, guys. You went to the Field Museum and saw Sue. That's so cool. She has a really amazing exhibit up right now. Gonna save my game. Oop. Thanks, Byron. I'm glad you like the dino content. Believe in the you that believes in you. It's tab. Okay, okay, okay. So maybe I need to get this. I feel like the alpha roar is gonna be good because if we could freeze the T-Rex, you know. Oh, but I don't have any boss SP, so I don't think I can buy it. Are you serious right now? Yeah, I don't. That's okay. I'm sure in the real game you can like go back and train and, you know, kill more dinos. Look up at the moon one last time. It's okay. We'll have fun talking about dinos. My Twitch handle is Reisuka with the underscore at the end. I didn't change my name. I just kind of changed the nickname on TikTok, so... Okay, well, I lasted longer. But there's like no way. There's like no way I can defeat him. Like, this is the most I can get out of a bar this big. I'm not sure what you mean drop it reward. Hey, Jeremy, how are you? Thank you, Princess. Hey, Rickzilla, I'm doing well. I do actually have a video on the One Piece Spinosaurus. So yeah. Okay, I'm gonna save my game and quit. But that was a really cool demo. I am really excited for the real game to come out, because I think with the real game we could actually train and like beat the T-Rex. I think it's just kind of like not beatable right now, because it looks like when I went back to the waterfall, it looks like those old dinos aren't spawning. But also I love like the rock music in the beginning. It's so dope. Okay, let me change over to chatting now. Do, 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 do. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I did get pretty far for spamming buttons. I mean, I defeated the Carnotaurus, at least. A dinosaur book with 1,200 dinos? No. I have a lot of very specific dinosaur books with specific anatomical terms. But I don't really have a lot of like just broad dinosaur books. I mean, because a lot of my stuff is pretty technical. A lot of Latin anatomy terms that are very specific to all the different types of dinosaurs and birds. My microphone is low? Okay. Let me check. Thank you, Francisco Antonio, for subscribing. Ada, ada. Okay. Okay, now it should be better. Is that better, guys? Is the dinosaur from Toy Story biologically correct? I mean, it's not terrible, the T-Rex, but it should have feathers for sure. And his posture is a little too like upright, because I think they're trying to make him look kind of human, you know? What's the largest dinosaur bone I've found? I found a titanosaur in Chile. So I found like large vertebrae that were like this big. You became a historian. That's cool though. Yeah, that's still, I feel like that it's similar in terms of like you have to still do a lot of multidisciplinary research. Just like in paleontology. In Chile, it was Antarctic Chile, so down near Punta Arenas in Patagonia, like near The Tower of Pain. Ask about Sue the Dinosaur. What would you like to know? I'm on Twitch too. I'm Reisuka with the underscore at the end on Twitch. So yeah, right now I kind of finished most of the demo for DinoBlade. So if you guys want to ask any dino questions, ask away. Yeah, I have heard of the new ankylosaur with the spikes. It's called Spicomelis. I'm definitely gonna be doing like a YouTube video on it. I already have the script. So, Dinotopia. I have not read it. Yeah, lots of archives for history. You like the old dino look? The upright dino? Yeah, I don't know. To me, I don't like those as much. I don't like the lizardy dino look. I like the new dino look where they look like they're super fast and like elegant, because I think that's more what they would be like. Most bizarre place I went for fossils. Other than Chile, probably like going to people's farms in China. They let us like dig for fossils on their farms, and then some of them like they were just living on the farms there, and they would find like these huge ammonites and other fossils and just be like using it as like a doorstop or whatever. And they kind of had collected their own fossils that they found around the farms. That was cool because like I got to like meet random local families there. Masato cosplay stream, I don't know. I don't know when. How long do digs take? It depends. Usually digs are anywhere between like 2 weeks to like 2 to 3 months, depending on how much funding you can get and how much time off you can get. So I mean, that's like a plus that I have, is I can take more time off because I'm not like on the academic schedule, but it still takes a lot of funding to go on a dig. Thank you, Princess. I appreciate it. Hi, Jason. I'm doing well. How are you? Nanotyrannus, I just posted a video on it and a short video, and I will be posting like a YouTube video as well. But I mean, I always thought that Nanotyrannus was a different dinosaur because there was an earlier paper by Nick Longridge that came out, I think in 2024. And he's a pretty good anatomist. Like, I know him, and he found over 100 morphological differences between T-Rex and Nanotyrannus. Basically, morphological differences are like distinct differences in the bones, in the skeleton. So to me, like, if there are over 100 differences and we don't see like fuse marks, because if an animal is young, no matter like what animal they are, whether they're like a human or T-Rex, whatever, when you're young, at the ends of your bones, like basically you'll kind of see them not fully fused together and not fully formed, and they're kind of like spongy looking. And Nanotyrannus didn't really have that, so it wasn't really a juvenile. And just like having that many differences is usually not something you see in a juvenile. It usually means it's a different species. So now, to me, the fact that like that already was enough evidence for me. But then on top of that, now they found that the arms are a lot longer, which to me like definitely shows it's a different species combined with the other evidence. And it's not just the arms. Like, if the arms were just longer, you could be like, well, maybe, you know, T-Rex had longer arms when it was younger and then they became shorter as it grew older. But I think the fact that like there's no juvenile, like, lack of fusion. There's all these differences in the bones. And there's like really distinct differences in the skull and the number of tail vertebrae, which is like not something you just grow out of. They're kind of like really like they're kind of like characters. We call them characters or like features that like extreme anatomists like me and other paleontologists would know. So, you know, wouldn't really sound like anything if I said to you what they were, but like basically like we call it like one of them, for example, is like a foramen in the inside of the quadrate, which is basically a pneumatic air hole in the inside of a bone that's part of the jaw. And that's like not something that you just have as a juvenile and grow out of. At least from the evidence we have, right? But to me, I think Nanotyrannus is definitely not just a juvenile form of T-Rex. So that's my take on it. And yeah, of course, like average historian, like you say, the field is always changing depending on new discoveries. So like, yeah, we're always going to have new evidence that changes things, and we might have to go back and like go back on what we say, right? But all we have in the moment is the data, and we have to go off of what the data is telling us. We can't like make something up based on what we think is the right thing. So based on the data, I think Nanotyrannus is its own species and, you know, genus for now. If a T-Rex tail whips you, would you break a bone or go flying? Yeah, both. Both for sure. My favorite dinosaur species is Velociraptor and like Deinonychus and Utahraptor and Microraptor. I love all of those bird-like dinosaurs. So that's what I study. Dilophosaurus is cool. It's definitely different than it was in the movie. I've made a few videos about that, but basically it's like 2 times the size of the one in the movie, and it wouldn't have a frill or a spit poison, but it would have the crest on its head. Yeah, it's definitely cool how they updated Sue's model. I think Sue is definitely more intimidating now versus before. Who would be a better sword master, Spinosaurus or Carnotaurus? I mean, based on my gameplay, I would say Spinosaurus. Also, Spinosaurus for sure, because Carnotaurus has such tiny arms. If I had a time machine, would I go back in time and get a dinosaur egg? It's tempting, but it would be really dangerous and deadly to try to do that. I think my fear would be like, what if the time machine didn't work and I couldn't come back to now? Like, living there would be really rough. But if I did bring a dinosaur egg back, like, it would be tempting to study it, especially as a paleontologist, but I know that it would eventually be used by greedy corporations to do horrible things. So I think I would have to like really think about that one for a bit. It probably wouldn't be a good idea. But maybe if I only got one egg, you know, and then it can't breed and create more dinosaurs. Like maybe that would be okay. Is there a location I would like to dig for? Yeah, there's so many places. I mean, the southern hemisphere in general is not really like, it's kind of underexplored because a lot of paleontologists have looked in the northern hemisphere for dinosaurs, so that's where I like to focus. T-Rex fighting a Spino in Jurassic Park 3. T-Rex fighting a Spino, so I know they made Spino kill T-Rex, but the reality is, like, the bite force of T-Rex is so powerful that it's just likely T-Rex would have won. Unless Spinosaurus got lucky because it has larger size. Like, if it used its claws to slash the right artery, you know, it could take down a T-Rex, but it would have to be strategic about it for sure. Dino egg for Pen Pen. I don't know. I don't know if I can give Pen Pen up for a dino egg. I mean, he already is a dinosaur. Hi, Norabot. How are you? Yeah, ask away your dino questions. My cat Luke is yelling. Lukey. What do you want? I already fed you. He wants attention. Hi, Dino Nerd. My favorite dino, velociraptors and the bird-like dinos, because I study how dinosaurs like Velociraptor and T-Rex evolved into living birds, which are living dinosaurs. So we still don't totally know. Yes, I have played Ark. I have not gone very far. Oh, thank you, Sam Caviar, for subscribing on Twitch. Ada. Basically, I got to the point of being able to tame a Dilophosaurus and build a shelter, but I was doing it all solo without any servers or anything, so it was rough. So if I did it again, I need to, like, look into how to do it. Deinonychus versus Velociraptor. It's pretty likely that Deinonychus would win because the real Velociraptor was about the size of a cat, like you guys just saw. Whereas Deinonychus was like the size of the actual, you know, the Jurassic Park Velociraptors, what they call Velociraptors. Hi, Ronan. If I had to metamorph 3 dinosaurs, which 3? I guess, like, maybe Baryonyx with Deinonychus could be cool. And then for the third part, maybe make it big. Like, maybe making it as big as a T-Rex. Kuroshibe, thank you for following me on Twitch. Ada. What about the long-necked dinosaur? I love long-necked dinosaurs. The average historian, thanks for following me. Ada. Would be a best weapon for T-Rex. I mean, if DinoBlade is any indicator, the sledgehammer is a great weapon for T-Rex. Amargasaurus versus Allosaurus. It really depends whether Allosaurus hunted in packs, which we're kind of like 50-50 on. But if Allosaurus did hunt in packs, then it definitely... They were very aggressive and could run very quickly, like around 30 miles an hour. So I think they could definitely take down large sauropods, especially if there were like 2 or 3 of them going at it at a time. Random guy, you're talking about dragon skeletons. How do you know all that about dragons? The best weapon for T-Rex is a warhammer. Yes, we are. Whenever you eat a chicken, you're eating a dinosaur or a turkey this Thanksgiving. When you eat a turkey, you're eating a dinosaur. You can, if you get like a turkey or a rotisserie chicken and you get like a bird anatomy book or a dinosaur anatomy book, you can actually like, I used to do this when I was getting my PhD to help with anatomy. You can actually like pull the muscles off and like dissect it. Identify the muscles and bones. Yeah, chickens definitely act like velociraptors. A lot of birds do, like the way they move. That's where I think Velociraptor and T-Rex and the bird-like dinosaurs, like they would actually be scarier if they moved like birds because they're so much faster, you know? Hey guys, Ichthyovenator. I don't have a fact off the top of my head. There is a breed of chicken I found out about that's like 4 feet high, which is insane. Like, I'm about 5'4", so imagine a chicken that's like almost as tall as me. I mean, dragons, I think they do remind me of dinosaurs, but their wings remind me a lot more of pterosaurs in a way. Which dinosaur would I want as a pet? I would love to like study velociraptor behavior or like, but I would be afraid of its big claws, so I think like Microraptor, maybe something like Microraptor where like it couldn't really hurt me too bad. Yeah, and birds are like they're pretty vicious if you study bird behavior. Like chickens will bully other chickens all the time. The most unethical dino pet, um I mean, any of them would be, but I think anything that could like like T-Rex or Ankylosaurus or something, like anything that's gonna stomp around and kill people near you is probably the most unethical. But all of them would also be unethical because like either you're getting a dinosaur that is dangerous to everyone around you, or if you're getting a small dinosaur like Microraptor or something, it's like a really intelligent dinosaur. So then it's kind of like keeping like a raven for a pet. You know what I mean? It's like a wild animal that is really smart, or like a monkey. Like it's kind of unfair to keep an animal that's that intelligent in captivity. It's kind of like keeping like a little human in captivity, you know? Pachycephalosaurus. I mean, Pachycephalosaurus looks really cute, but I'm sure that headbutt would be pretty like devastating. Like I don't want to break any more bones personally. Oh, you redeemed a stretch. Thank you, Blighty boy. Yeah, Ankylosaurus tail would definitely hurt someone really bad. I mean, they could shatter the jaws of a T-Rex with their tail. Yeah, lifespan, it depends. We can do histology to see like how long a dinosaur lived. So I know T-Rex is about like 20 to 30 years. Again, it like all depends kind of on like the years they were born into. Like, was it a bad year for prey, or like was it a difficult environment? What was their social structure like that year? But that's like 25 to 30 is kind of the lifespan for T-Rex and a lot of dinos. I'm not sure about the smaller ones. I should double check that. Don't let your T-Rex clone go free, then he's gonna eat everyone. Thanks, AJ. Yeah, Brat. I love Charlie XCX's Brat. Yeah, I mean, I think getting hit with an ankylosaurus tail is more like, it's less like stubbing your toe and it's more like getting into a full impact car crash, but like worse. Iguanodon. Hi, game. So, Iguanodon is actually one of the first dinosaurs ever discovered and named. And we still don't really know like what the thumb claw was for, but we think it was maybe to like help with like eating vegetation, and then it could be used as a weapon, but it's just like a really weird anomaly because no other like herbivorous dinosaur has like a random claw like that. More Masato videos. I definitely will. Besides funding, what other hurdles do you run into in the field? I mean, the main thing that I've talked about a lot before is just the ego and competitive mindset. Like a lot of scientists are not willing to put their ego aside and focus on what the data is saying, or, you know, admit that they're wrong. It's always okay to admit that you're wrong. That's really like how people should operate, especially scientists, and like you should try to have as little of a bias as possible, and you know, ideally you should treat people with respect and have respectful debates about interpretations of the data, but a lot of people are not willing to do that. So I would say like the other main hurdle besides funding is just like the teamwork aspect really isn't there, at least in dinosaur paleontology right now. And hopefully that is something that will change in the future. It's just very competitive and exclusionary. How hard is it to find a full intact footprint of a dinosaur? It's not that hard, not as hard as you would think. There's actually a lot of them, especially if you live out west, like Texas, Utah, like all like Nevada, whatever, Arizona. There's a lot of random places you can go to and just like find a dinosaur footprint. They're actually pretty common. So you just have to kind of look at like a geological map where Cretaceous sediment is. You can also find them usually like on Reddit or the internet. People will like put up where they are. But yeah, there's a lot of them, especially in national parks too. The problem with them, so we can learn a little from them. We can learn like how a dinosaur walked generally. We can't like fully understand the movement from it. And we can't, the other problem is we can't tell like what species left the footprint, right? Because it's kind of just like a mushed foot. So at the most we can tell whether it was a theropod dinosaur, so like a carnivorous dinosaur like T-Rex or Velociraptor, or like a big sauropod dinosaur or Triceratops type dinosaur. But we can't tell like, oh, that was definitely like Triceratops, or that was definitely like a Apatosaurus, like, because all we can tell is like if it's a theropod, then you're gonna see 3 toes printed into the mud, right? And then if it's like an herbivorous dinosaur, usually you're gonna see just like a flat circle as a footprint. And you can kind of guess based on like what dinosaurs were found in that area, what it might be, and like based on the size and everything. So there's some things we can learn, but it doesn't give us as much information as like a skeleton would. Let's see. Have I ever had a hypothesis validated by data that was really gratifying? Yes. I mean, yeah, I've had a lot of my hypotheses like validated by data all the time, uh, which is exciting. It like I don't know if I would use the word gratifying because I then have to fight for years to get this stuff published because of the environment of paleontology. But it is really exciting and like, yeah, it's really cool when you're like the one looking at the fossil and discovering what's actually going on, and you're literally at the forefront of discovery, like physically and mentally. So that part is super exciting. That is definitely my favorite part. And then, like I said, the writing and like having to deal with peer review where people are, you know, resorting to personal attacks instead of like having an actual scientific discussion. That's the part I don't like. But, you know, I have to deal with it to a certain point if I want my research published. I have published a lot of my research, but as a scientist, you know, there's always more that you have ready and that needs to be published. Your neighborhood Kmart, thank you for following me on Twitch. Ara ara. Is Plateosaurus a nice herbivore? I mean, I think all herbivores, like, just because they're an herbivore doesn't mean they're nice. Like, in fact, because they're an herbivore, they kind of have to be more careful. And they usually have weapons on their body somehow, or like, you know, or they're like so large and heavy that they can destroy you. Because otherwise they're not going to be able to survive. So they'll be aggressive if needed. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping is like as the newer generation comes in and hopefully by me like exposing a lot of this stuff and talking about it and talking about why it's a problem, this stuff can change moving forward. I mean, I am starting to see some change, at least in the students coming in. But we'll see. The problem is a lot of students, you know, they get up to a certain point and they end up not getting their degree at the last minute, or they get their degree but then they leave academia completely and like don't publish because it is so difficult. And so people from older generations tend to keep their jobs for decades and decades and decades, and then like when they retire or die, usually at least like now museums and universities for the past decade, they have not been rehiring those positions. So, which is part of why I got into like, you know, being an online influencer, because I think a lot of institutions are focusing more on profits and less on science right now, which is frustrating, but it is what it is. And, you know, if you want to be a paleontologist, you can definitely make it work. Like, if this is your dream, you can go for it and make it work, just like I did. Like, you just have to be creative, and things are going to get weird, but you can do it. I mean, don't let anyone deter you from your dreams, you know? How do you preserve a dinosaur footprint? So usually you leave them in the field, but we take casts of them using plaster molds and other materials. If you've ever been to like the American Museum of Natural History in New York, they have a really beautiful display of like an Apatosaurus with tracks behind it. And they actually took casts of those tracks from Texas, from a place called Dinosaur Valley that's near Dallas, Texas. So yeah, that's all like a cast. And then they can kind of paint that and make it look like it's real dinosaur tracks. Paleo Terry rated me. Hi! How are you? Welcome. Ask any dinosaur questions you want. We just finished the DinoBlade demo, which was super fun, and now I'm answering dinosaur questions. Ask a real-life paleontologist with a PhD whatever you want about dinosaurs. Even if it's not a dinosaur, you can ask me about mosasaur or pterosaurs, whatever. Who's up Jurassicing their park? Me. Thanks for coming, AJ. Brosaurus Rex. That is a good job. Being a plumber is a really good job, though. But I get what you mean. But at least you can come here. You can let out all your dino nerdiness here. Hi, Connor. Thank you for following me on Twitch. Ada. But yeah, I feel like a lot of us are super multi-talented, you know, and we could be a lot of different things. Is there a dinosaur I hate? No, I don't hate any dinosaurs. Like, I think there's some dinosaurs that are a little more boring just because, like, personally, I don't really like to study, like, duck-billed dinosaurs or ceratopsians as much, or, like, you know, like those types of dinosaurs, because they don't have like living relatives. So they can't really tell us a lot about evolution. That's why I like studying bird-like dinosaurs, because like the evolution we see there is still happening in birds and they have living descendants. So I think that's really cool. It's not that but I love like the other dinosaurs as well. I just kind of think I like learning about dinosaurs that have like cool features or that can teach us something about living animals, because I think that's so cool to like connect to living animals and evolutionary and biological processes going on now to like what was happening, you know, 66 million plus years ago. Like, that's insane that we can do that. It's so cool. And dinosaurs are still teaching us so much. Stegosaurus is cool. Oh, thank you, Dragon Ball Z. Newest fossil that bridges the gap between dinosaurs and birds. So that's kind of the problem. We don't have very many. The only ones we really have are things that look like ducks, like Vegavis, Conflicto, things like that, Presbyornis, and then we have a couple like really weird things around the Cretaceous. Other than that, like Ichthyornis and Hesperornis, which are, they kind of look like big seagulls with teeth, and neither of those really like shows us what that missing link was. You know, that's the problem. We really need more fossils to know. What's been a recent discovery in the field? A really crazy one I saw on Twitter the other day is that apparently some paleontologists have found that duck-billed dinosaurs some of them have crushed tails, and like they're actually broken, like their spine vertebrae. And the reason that some of the females have this is, I guess, because the males were like clumsy during mating. So that was a crazy finding I saw the other day. Sunshine 101, thank you for following me. And Murden the Sassy. Ada. Hey, Connor. Did most dinos have scales or feathers? Most of them had scales, and then really only like some of the bird-like dinos had feathers. Some of the theropods. Is it illegal to keep a dino fossil? It really depends on your state laws and the country laws. But I would just say if it's something rare, like if you have a bird or T-Rex or something like that, or like something, or maybe you don't know what it is, but it looks rare, like I would definitely contact your local university or museum or paleontologist. Or you can send it to me, or a picture of it, I mean. Um, and just see if it's important for science. Yeah, I feel like Triceratops could be a good pet until it got too big, because then, like, then it's basically like keeping a rhino. Dino feather. We do have fossilized dino feathers. We have some from Tyrannus, which is a relative of T Rex, covered in like long feathers. And then we also have little feathers from the tinier, like bird like dinosaurs. Smallest dinosaur, definitely like Microraptor. And then there are some other bird-like things, but they're kind of controversial as to whether they actually, because we only have like pieces of them, so they're a little controversial as to whether they're a lizard or a dinosaur. So again, yeah, that's like why I think it's so interesting to work at like that area of where dinosaurs evolved into birds, because like it's so unknown. Yeah, Tyrannus is a really cool specimen. I definitely recommend seeing it in person if you can. What about Archaeopteryx? What about it? No, yeah, it's one of the oldest bird-like dinosaurs we have. It's kind of like the beginning of birds. Are there dog-sized dinosaurs? Yeah, like the real Velociraptor is like, medium to small dog-sized, or like large cat-sized in real life. Eutyrannus is your favorite dino. Oh, cool. I love Eutyrannus. I did get to see the specimen in person. It was so beautiful. It's stunning. It's huge also. Like, it's flat, but it kind of takes up like the height of a high ceiling, like a super tall wall. Hi, Ty Boogie. How are you? Crandomaniac, thank you for following me on Twitch. Ada Ada. Oh, the Eutyrannus in Ark? Okay, actually I haven't seen that, but I can look it up right now. I didn't know they had Eutyrannus. That's impressive. Okay, so it does look like it's covered in feathers, which is nice. Let's see. I think the body feathers should be a little longer and not like, they almost look to me like downy feathers, like on a baby bird, So I wish the feathers were longer, but other than that, it looks cool for sure. Have I ever been hurt on a dig site? Yes. You do need to be really careful on dig sites, because usually you're like in a remote area and you can't get out. So like if you have a health issue or heart attack or something, I mean, you're like 3 days hike away from base camp, and then you're usually like 10 hours out to a hospital. So you definitely want to go in like being as healthy as you can, having all of the medicine you need, all of the emergency supplies. The only time that I was really hurt was it was kind of like an accident. Like another paleontologist was kind of digging above me, and a big rock like fell down the hill where I was digging and hit my knee and gave me a bone bruise. That hurt pretty bad for a couple months, but then my knee was totally fine. But I had just like this huge, like red, like bloody bruise for a while. So yeah, communication is key. Thank you, Wistful War Finessuri, for following me. Ada Ada. Yeah, you don't want to fall. You want to be really careful and not get injuries in the field because, you know, like I said, you're in a remote area. So if you hurt your ankle or something, I mean, you're depending on the other people with you to carry you out. And paleontologists have died in the field before because they've had heart attacks and there's just like, there's nothing you can do. Um, I mean, I always try my best and bring like a pretty like heavy duty medical kit and emergency kit. But yeah, also, keeping warm is important, especially for cold areas. Like when I go to Antarctic Chile, like that's as close to Antarctica as you can get without actually going to Antarctica. So it gets really cold even in the summer when I would go in the field there. And you have to take a lot of things into consideration when you're like going to extreme environments like that. So like one example I like to give, which is like will kind of show you how much thought you have to put into the expedition, is your clothing. So you want to make sure you don't wear any cotton when you go to a really cold place like that. And the reason is because when it gets wet from you sweating, or like say it's raining and your clothes got wet and they were made of cotton, cotton holds onto water a little more than like a quick dry kind of material. And usually that wouldn't be a big deal. But if you're close to Antarctica or like in a really cold place, then that clothing is going to hold on to that like wet, cold water and it's not going to let go of it and you're going to get hypothermia. So like everything you wear has to be Gore-Tex or like quick dry material, sweat wicking material, including your underwear. You can get hypothermia just from your underwear being cotton as well. So it's like when you go to these places, like every little detail from your clothes to your tools to your food, medical supplies, all of that, like you have to really plan all of this stuff. You have to plan how you're going to get the fossils out of the ground safely, how you're going to transport them, and you have to be prepared for emergencies. So yeah, it's intense for sure. Um, but I do enjoy it. I like going into remote places because I love adventure and stuff like that. Like that's part of why I got into paleontology. You don't have to be that extreme. Like you don't have to go to places that are as remote. Like for example, a lot of the people who work out west or like work at Hell's Creek, you know, in Montana, they can like usually go drive to a town and get food or get medical help if they need to. So like there are a lot of places where you don't have to be as extreme. Um, but personally, I like those places as well, but I also do love going to remote places because it's just exciting to be out in the wild with no one around you. And also it's cool cuz it's like usually you're the first human that is, you know, looking at this ground because no one else has been there because it's so remote, and you're like the first person seeing these fossils. So you're like literally at the edge of discovery right there. Okay, I have to give shout outs to everyone who followed me: Coatamundi, Vault Dweller, Orange Mime, Beavis Simpson, Wistful Wharf. These are cool usernames. Asuri, thank you guys for following me. Ara ara. There's definitely sweat wicking underwear. I don't know about Gore-Tex underwear, but you could probably make Gore-Tex underwear. Gore-Tex is more important for your pants and your what do you call it, rain gear and hats and boots, because you never want your feet to be wet. And Gore-Tex is like the only material that 100% will not. I don't know exactly how it works, but basically if water gets on Gore-Tex, it can't penetrate it at all. So that's why I am like when I went to Chile, I was like head to toe Gore-Tex. Like you do not want any water like getting in your clothes. You do not want hypothermia. And yeah, so that's like really highly technical gear that usually you have to get at like REI or like a super technical like climbing or camping store. Also like Arc'teryx is a brand that is really good for like, that's actually what I have for my rain jacket. But yeah, you definitely want like head to toe Gore-Tex for extreme conditions like that. The dinosaur movie Rebirth. Are the dinosaurs on the island the same ones from Jurassic Park, or have they evolved? My understanding of Jurassic World Rebirth was that they were kind of the mutant dinosaurs that didn't make it to the original Jurassic Park island. So I don't think it's that they evolved. I think they're just kind of extra experiments that failed according to, the geneticists there. Yes, I'm the dino person. Yeah, Chile is really cool. Exactly, yeah. Gore-Tex is like, it's so water repellent that, like you said, Cool Cat, you can like just pour a bunch of water on the Gore-Tex and it will just like literally come off. My favorite piece of gear, I would say my favorite piece of gear is definitely, I'm torn. Probably my sleeping bag is the most important to me just because, especially in the cold, like you need like a -80-degree sleeping bag and it needs to be lightweight. So that's what I have. And I mean, that can literally save your life, like, especially if a snowstorm happens, which can happen in the summer in Chile. Like, you can just get in that thing and survive. And you're warm at the end of the day. Because even with all my gear, like when I went to Chile, I was like freezing cold most of the day still. But so that's like my favorite comfort gear. But then my favorite like actual paleontology gear, I would say, is my GPS. Because the GPS is super important because you need to like be able to, first of all, not get lost. And second of all, because no phones work out there. So you're not going to have a phone, or like even like radio phones don't really work. So usually you have to have a manual GPS where you like enter coordinates into it. And that's important not only for you to not get lost, but also for you to be able to find your fossil site and report your fossil site, like when you get back and you publish a paper and you say like, hey, I found this fossil. And usually you put the coordinates in the paper. Favorite snacks though, like again, if you're going into a remote place, you really need like lightweight stuff. So usually backpacking stuff like freeze-dried food, kind of what you might call astronaut food. So like freeze-dried cheese, freeze-dried meals that you can pour hot water into and it becomes a meal, kind of like an army meal. Like pasta with beef is like my favorite like field meal for sure. Because in the field you're just starving, so you're working so hard. Like usually, like when I was in Chile, I would be walking like 16 miles a day through the mountains, and I was pretty hungry by the end of the day. Could there be dinos in the Congo? There could be fossils there, but so the problem with looking for fossils in tropical areas is that plants are covering the soil, right? And all of their roots are kind of holding the soil in place, which is, it's good to have plants and it's great to have rainforests because we want biodiversity and we want all of these different ecosystems on Earth. But for paleontologists, we don't really want to go look for fossils there because the sediment isn't going to be eroded enough. Like usually we go to deserts like out west in the US or like places in Chile or whatever, remote areas where like the mountains are like barren, they don't really have plants on them, and the weather has kind of eroded away a lot of the rock. And so we can see like the Cretaceous sediment or whatever time period of sediment we're trying to find on the surface. And that way we can actually like find the dinosaur bones on the surface, because we can't just go like dynamiting around like they did in the old days of paleontology. And super destructive. So usually we want to go where it's already been eroded out and there's like minimal plant cover, and then start looking for dinosaur bones on the surface. Do I wear a hard hat? Usually not. Usually I don't need it, but yeah, I would if it was like a vertical dig for sure. Yeah, steel toe boots are a good choice. Um, Usually we buy our tools, like especially the GPS you want to own because you want to be able to like look back at the coordinates and, you know, see what they were. You can bring potato chips. I had one colleague bring like a bunch of gummy bears. Like you can bring whatever you want. It's just like you're going to be carrying it on your back, all your supplies. So you have to take that into account. Like you don't want a bunch of heavy food because like with all your gear, like when I had all my gear and all the medical stuff, my sleeping bag and all my food, and my paleontology gear on my back, like that's like a 75-pound backpack that you're walking through the mountains with for days. So like you want to be really selective about what you bring. Underwater fossils actually are possible. There are, I'm forgetting the name of the museum in Florida, but there are a few paleontologists there who do scuba dive for fossils, but usually they're not like old fossils like Mesozoic. They're usually what we call Cenozoic, so they're like thousands of years old. They're what we call subfossils, so they're like half bone, half fossil, kind of like Ice Age age. So they haven't fully turned into rock yet. And there are scuba divers who will go down and look for those, but it's not going to be dinosaur fossils. It's going to be like a lot of mammals and fish and things like that, reptiles. Thank you, Afro Memory and J Ross, for following me. Ada Ada. Doritos would be a good choice. They're pretty light, but they might get crushed. Yeah, so when we find the fossils, yes, they go directly to the museum, whatever institution we're working with. If I'm working like outside of America, then those fossils go to the institution I'm working with over in that country. So like, you know, to the Chinese museum if I'm working in China, or to the institution in Chile if I'm working in Chile. Like I definitely believe in having other countries like steward their own fossils and not sending all the fossils to like the Western world all the time. I think that was like done way too much in the past, and fossils should be displayed like where they were found, you know, so the people there can enjoy them. Primus versus Unicorn, thank you for subscribing. Ada Ada. And thank you, Cinecar Dragonkin, for following. Anime about paleontology. There is Dinosaur Sanctuary. I haven't read all of it. I think I read one book of it. Yeah, Laura Dern and Alan Grant, they are dressed pretty, they're okay for they're definitely like fine for their field site, because their field site was supposed to be based on like a Western American kind of field site where it's like, yeah, it's a little remote, but you could go drive to the supermarket and get snacks or whatever, right? And you don't have to deal with like, you're not backpacking in. You don't have, the other thing I had to deal with in Chile was the ozone layer is thinner there. So even if you wear sunscreen, you're going to get very burned unless you cover yourself up. And it's really like dangerous for your skin, especially like, you know, a light skinned person like me. So I also had to wear sun shirts and like sun gear. So yeah, but they were dressed fine for like an American Western dig for sure. Jeff Goldblum, like, he could wear that on a dig. It's definitely more fashionable than most paleontologists would wear. But I think it looked good. Oh, they were real gummy bears. They don't make freeze gummy bears, unfortunately. They don't teach you survival in school, but they encourage you to take wilderness survival classes. So I've taken a few. When I worked at a museum, they did pay for me to do one. And I also learned how to shoot like a shotgun through the museum as well. So it depends, but I would definitely recommend taking a wilderness survival course if you haven't. It's also just good for like if you like hiking or being outside in general. Oh, I'm glad you like my Sailor Moon. Thanks, Ty Boogie. Would I ever go barefoot? No, unless it was around camp. Like I would not go barefoot because again, you don't want to like cut your foot or get it too wet and get hypothermia. Like you can't really afford to mess up your feet. Hi, Dustin. Um, yeah, dinosaurs could definitely like evolve if they were separated by some kind of like geological barrier. I mean, that's definitely possible. That's one way that animals like become different species is like a huge river starts to form or like mountains form and two species kind of grow apart from each other and differentiate into two species. That could definitely happen. Have I been sick at I have been sick at a dig site before in China, but I just toughed it out and went out anyway. Cuz I mean, usually when we're at the dig site, it's like it took a year of planning and applying for grants to get there and you have to when you get a grant, they don't just like give you money and let you do whatever you want. Like you have to go out and actually do the work you said you were going to do and then report that and show them like that you actually went to the dig site and did the work. So, you know. And of course, I want to find fossils, so I wasn't going to give up the chance to do that. So, usually, we tough it out no matter what. Unless it's like something really bad, like a blizzard, then maybe we'll stay inside the tent for a day, but yeah. Only if absolutely necessary. John Jingle, thank you for following me on Twitch. Ada Ada. Is it political or competitive who goes to which dig site? It can be. It depends. Definitely like the ones out west. And some in Mongolia and Canada like definitely are. It kind of depends like who's in charge of it and if they already kind of have like a history there and a connection there. But then there are also a lot of dig sites that are totally unexplored. So, but that being said, like the unexplored sites, you still always want to work with people in the country where you're going to dig if it's not, the US. So I guess there's like political relationships in that sense for sure. Melody Texter and Tiz LeBigs, thank you for subscribing and following. Ada Ada. Oh, you're locked in the archives. That's no fun. It can be fun though. I love being in the museums too because I mean, there's so much in museums that is also unstudied or like needs to be looked at again. Do we have a designated cook? No, usually we all take turns doing the chores at a field site. So like one day someone will be the cook and then someone will do the dishes and someone else will like be writing down the notes that day for what fossils we found or like anything else we want to take note of, and then someone else will be packing the fossils, and we kind of like take turns usually, or help each other out. Thanks, Tressalum. I'm glad you're here. How do we clean up? We don't really clean up that much. I mean, if you're like not in a remote area, you could go clean up, but like if you are in a remote area, then usually you don't bring that many change of clothes. So like when I went to Chile, I was there for 2 weeks and I brought 3 outfits, and you know, they were like wool and sweat wicking, and I had like I think 6 pairs of socks. And so and you can't shower because it's too cold, and we can't waste water because like all the water, you know, you can't just drink the water, you have to purify it and make sure you don't get parasites. So what we do in really remote areas is we just like wear the same clothes the whole time, but kind of like rotate them out and let them dry out in your tent. So everyone smells pretty bad by the end of it. Hi, Kevin. Thank you, Tiz. Thank you, Trent, for the heart. Bucket list dig sites. I do have them, but I'm not going to say. Because I'm not having them stolen by other paleontologists who might be sneakily watching me right now. What did I eat in Chile? They had a lot of canned clams for some reason. And then I ate a lot of like backpacking food. So, like I said, like noodles that are like astronaut food that are freeze dried that you put water in. But then when I was in the actual town of like Punta Arenas, before I went out into the field, I got to eat really good food, like really good seafood pasta. But yeah, usually lunch in the field, usually we like reserve cooking for dinner. And then breakfast and lunch, you're kind of like having protein shakes and protein bars, like just quick things to get through the day. I don't know. I didn't try avocados. Yeah, the field can be really fun. It is really exciting and fun. The main thing in the field is you definitely want to go with a small group of people who you really trust. I think that's like the most dangerous thing you can do is go into the field with people who may act in a questionable way, and it might not be that they're trying to like do something dangerous, but you really never know how people are going to act until they're put in like a survival situation. So you definitely ideally want to have a team of people with you that you know, is good in a survival situation, you know, that are good communicators, that are helping share the load, that aren't being negative. I mean, it's kind of like, it's not like, it's definitely not at all the military, but it's kind of like you have to have a little of that mentality of like, okay, we need to keep morale high. We need to like solve problems. We need to communicate. We need to like get our missions done. And if you have a group that's kind of bringing all that stuff down, it can fall apart really quickly. And I've heard some crazy stories of people like leaving other people in the field for dead when they only like broke their leg or something. Like it wasn't like super dire, and they just kind of freaked out and like left the person. So ideally you definitely want to go with at least like 1 or 2 people you really trust, because things can get dicey when you're out in a really remote area, because things do kind of become a survival situation, and some people are better at handling that than others. How often do I go in the field? Usually like once a year. Have I ever listened to Kate Bush at a dig site? No. I don't really like to listen to music when I look for dinosaurs. Like, I know some colleagues do. I don't really like to because I want to be aware of like what's around me and I want to be really focused on like finding the dinosaurs. And usually, like, if you're in a remote environment with extreme weather, like Chile was, it's like I don't want to be caught off guard just because I'm, spacing out listening to music. I'd rather be like focused. Peter Mudpants, thank you for subscribing. Ada Ada. Master Zordon, thank you for following me. Oh yeah, photographers have definitely come with me before. We also had like a tour guide come. That was cool. She like would help us with stretching after a long day in the field. So that was a cool experience. Have I been to Antarctica? Not yet. I would love to go, but it is extremely expensive because you can only get there through an icebreaker ship and a helicopter. And a helicopter is minimum like about $1 million. So that's what you're looking at for an Antarctic expedition. That's like big funding. So yeah, I would love to go, but I have not gone yet. But at least I went to Antarctic Chile. Hopefully I'll go one day. Coolest place I've explored in, other than Chile, I would say I love China. Just going to China was so cool. Like, not just in the field, but also just living there for months. Like, I lived there for like 3 months. And I went back the next summer, and I just loved living there. Like, it was so cool, and like, it was just so different. And like, I never experienced anything like that before, and the culture was so different. And people treated me so well there. And the food was amazing. So I love China. How do you choose where to go? So, what you want to do is think about like which dinosaurs you're looking for, and then usually we look at geological maps and see like where the sediment that is the right age to find those dinosaurs is located. And we check like, okay, is there a lot of plant cover there? Because if there's plant cover, we don't want to go there because again, that's going to block us from finding fossils. And we can also make guesses based on like where we think dinosaurs would have moved through based on other specimens that have already been found. So it's kind of a mix of all of those things. And then, there's a little luck. You're kind of gambling a little bit. Usually, especially if you work on like the rare stuff like me, because my fossils are super rare. Like, I always know I'm going to find a dinosaur. I'm not always going to find the dinosaur I want to work on because the ones I want to work on are so rare that I could never guarantee that. So, like, with Chile, like, I wish I had found, like, a cool link between dinosaurs and birds, but I still found a titanosaur and, some theropod, like, velociraptor, like, teeth and things like that. That was really cool. So I still found dinosaurs, just not quite the ones I wanted, but it's okay. You have to try, And besides, I have plenty to work on in museums already because there's so much in museums that hasn't been looked at in decades. Thanks, WebFox. I appreciate it. Yeah, I would love to go to the Tyrell. I have not been yet. No, I don't bring fossils home because I believe they belong in a museum so that people can study them and the public can view them. The only time I ever have a fossil is like there have been occasions where the people we're working with or the institutions we're working with in another country will like gift fossils that aren't really important to science. Like I have a few fossil fish, for example, that were gifted to me that way. But in general, no. Like as paleontologists and scientists, I mean, good ones, we do not want to own these things. Like we see them as treasures of the world that belong to everyone who lives in the world. Yeah, so true. Average historian. But yeah. Yeah, digitizing and photographing specimens. Museums are doing it. It's a slow process because there is so much. But I know there are huge, like, programs underway to do that and also CT scan a ton of specimens. It's just kind of something that's going to take a long time because there's thousands and thousands of things in museums, you know? Hundreds of thousands, really. But yeah. Okay, my voice is getting a little tired, guys, so I think I'm going to end the stream here, but I had a lot of fun talking to you guys. I hope you had fun learning about what it's like to be a paleontologist and watching DinoBlade. And I will be back next week at the same time, so make sure you follow and subscribe on Twitch and come back. I might play Jurassic World Evolution 3 again, but I'm not sure. I'll be doing something interesting, so I love you guys. I love you guys so much. Thank you. Dino Mommy loves you. Bye.